By subscribing today, you get the Fisherman Magazine every week, the chance to enter the Dream Boat Challenge, and unlock the great features of the new Fisherman website.
Ah, there it is. Another porgy or sea bass on the way up. I'm Outdoor Tom Schlichter for the Fisherman Magazine. You know, when the porgy fishing gets rocking in the fall, you can fill a cooler and have a ball doing it. That's what I'm talking about. As the porgies begin to move to deeper water from the shallows, usually from 50 to 90 feet deep, they gather around wrecks, rock piles, and reefs. At that time, you can isolate these fish, get a line down, and hook them fast. It's lock and load fishing, the type you don't want to miss. It's a typical porgy for this time of year, but they get much bigger. This year, in fact, has seen some porgies going up to 20 inches and 4 pounds. You can expect 3/4 of a pound to 1.5 pounds to be the rule. 2 pound is a good fish. In addition to the porgies, you'll catch some sea bass, you might catch some bluefish, the occasional fluke, even a triggerfish now and then. But the porgy's the focus at the moment. For this deep water action, you'll do best to leave your light tackle at home. You can't get away with 4 or 5 ounces of lead here. You're going to be using 8 to 14 ounces. 10's usually a good starting weight. Of course, that all depends on how hard the tide pushes. The basic rig for this offshore fishing is to use a standard single hook bottom rig, tied off with a dropper loop, allowing your hook to be positioned about 2 or 3 inches above the sinker. You don't want to use double hook rigs here because you'll get tangled in the wrecks and the rocks. Baiting up is simple. You want to use as little bait as practical so that you don't overload the hook. These fish have small mouths, you want them to just get it right in. Simply thread your bait right on the hook, leave a little bit hanging off the end. That's the tantalizing part that really gets the fish excited. Before you drop your bait to the bottom, make sure your line is not tangled. You don't want that leader wrapping around the main line or the sinker. You want it to be completely separated. Get your line down nice, simple, and smooth, and be ready the second you hit the bottom. Flip my lever to engage my reel and take up a couple cranks right off the bat just to see if a fish is there. It's important to keep a tight line and to keep your fingers on the line so that you can feel the fish when they start to bite. Just lift slowly. If you feel a little weight, oh, there it is. As you're reeling that fish up, slow and steady wins the race. You don't want to be pumping it, because if you pump it, the fish is likely to drop off the hook. By the way, for great porgy recipes, check out thefisherman.com's recipe section. Of course, if the porgies are biting hot and heavy, the bluefish are probably nearby too. You can tell when the porgies stop biting intermittently, or when you start bringing up half a catch. Ah, dang, in the wreck. Getting in the wreck is part of this fishing. If you're not on the bottom, you're not in the right zone. If you do hook up on the wreck, one thing you can do is loosen up your line a little bit, flip it back in gear. If you decide you can't get your line out, wrap it a couple of times around your rod and just let that come tight and it'll pull right out of the wreck. Ah, that one came free. They don't always, however. If you're really stuck and you can't get the line out, call the mate for help. September into October is porgy time, and the fishing's just going to build in intensity, so get out there now. From the deck of the Captain Bob, for the Fisherman Magazine, I'm Outdoor Tom.